Hey everybody, it's Dave here at Holiday for Two, and today I'm just putting the finishing touches on part 3 of my California RV adventure video. And part 2 was where we were in Oceano and Pismo Beach. We spent 2 days there, and then we headed up the coast to San Simeon. But on the way there, we found this incredible beach. If you have 4-footed furry friends, then they're gonna love this beach. It is a beach just for dogs. Yeah, just for dogs. Whole beach. It's in Morro Bay. So let's go to San Simeon and take a look at Dog Beach. Let's go.
So someday when my ship comes in, I know just what we'll do. We'll pack our bags and quit our jobs and have a holiday for two.
It was an easy drive from Pismo Beach up to San Simeon, and I knew we had about an hour's drive ahead, so we took our time. Made some stops to get groceries. We also stopped and found a campground, Morro Strand State Beach Campground, which is a nice campground. It's $35 a night for the basic camp spot and $50 a night for hookups. But the spot we were really interested in was Morro Bay Dog Beach. Now this is a special beach just for dogs, and there are numerous ones up and down the coast, but this one, dogs can run free without a leash. Our little dog Chewy was kind of funny. When he first got on the wet sand, he just kind of stopped and stared at us for a little bit, and when we unhooked his leash, he just looked at us like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Being from Arizona, he wasn't quite used to being on a beach without his leash on at all, and didn't quite know what to do. It was kind of funny.
We're at Morro Bay Dog Beach. The whole beach is open for dogs. There's a fence up there, so you can just let them run free and no leash. I think Chewy's having a good time.
Now when you first arrive there, there's a parking lot that you can park at, lots of room, and then there's a gate that you go through to let your dog onto the beach. And if you're worried about letting your dog off the leash, I wouldn't worry about it. There's a fence that protects the dogs up by the road area, and there's also a fence about a half mile down and another half mile down south. There's another little fence area. So it's pretty safe there to let your dogs run around.
Parked up there.
And boy, they have fun, as you can see. The only thing they ask you, there's a little spot there where they have some doggy bags, so to make sure you pick up any doo-doo that your dog might leave on the beach, please pick it up so that other people can enjoy the beach as well. But she had a great time. Our next stop was heading up to Hearst San Simeon State Park, where we camped for 2 nights. And I'll tell you more about this at the end. We stayed at a spot number 15 was our spot right there. We were on the North Plateau area, and it was a little walk down to the lower area. You'll see that.
This is Chewy's workout. We found the trail to the beach. San Simeon. And here is this huge tree that we found. Holy, it's like Jungle Book tree or something. We are at San Simeon Campground. This is San Simeon Beach. Campground's about that way. So we had to hike here. It's fun.
The next day, we took a whole day to take a trip up to Hearst Castle. This was one of the things I'd wanted to see for a long time. I've heard lots of stories about Hearst Castle and wanted to see what it was all about. There's a lot of history behind Hearst Castle. William Randolph Hearst was important in California history. I remember having to learn about him in California history. So we took a trip through Hearst Castle and saw all the over 100 rooms that are in here. The Neptune Pool and the Rowan Pool is a couple of things that you see on a trip. And they usually take you in groups of about 20 or 25 at a time. You go on a bus up to the castle, and then the docents take you through the castle and tell you about all the history and the little stories about the guests that have been there in the past. And it's very interesting. Lots of artwork from Europe that's in the castle that was brought over in the early 1900s. And of course, there's the Neptune Pool. Please hit subscribe, like, and share, and be sure to stay tuned for more information following this video. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed this. Bye. Beach and San Simeon is a really easy drive, and I planned it that way. It's about an hour's drive, but I wanted some time to make some stops along the way for gas and some supplies, and also to visit a place that we had heard about but we're really curious about. It's called Morro Bay Dog Beach. I'll show you, zoom in here. We had heard about this on YouTube on a couple of channels, and they called this Morro Bay Dog Beach. And so we made a stop there, and it's really an incredible beach for dogs. And that's really all. It's just a huge, long beach, and the dogs are free to run as far as they want. There's no fences except one up on, so they don't get in the highway. And then there's a fence down probably about a half a mile up north, and maybe about a half a mile south of where you get off here. There's a, let me switch to satellite here. When you park here, there's a parking lot, and there's a gate, and this gate locks behind you, and then you can let your dogs run free. I think the fence goes down about a half a mile to the one fence, and then about a half a mile to the other fence. But it's really kind of a fun place for dogs to run. And our little dog Chewy, we let him run, and when he got off out of the gate and looked at us, he turned around and looked at us and just kind of looked at us like, what am I supposed to do now? And he had never seen anything like that before, so it was kind of fun to watch him. And of course there were lots of people there with their dogs, and it's just kind of a fun thing to do. We also stopped there and had a bite to eat. Down in Morro Bay, we also stopped for supplies, and there is a Costco right here. Let me show you. Right around the corner here. Right there. San Luis Obispo is where we stopped before we got there. There's a Costco here. That's where we got gas, and that's the best prices in the area for gas at Costco. And then there's a couple other stores here if you need groceries and things. Plus, it's just a beautiful area. The weather was nice, so we didn't have any problems with the weather. And we eventually made our way up to the campground and got checked in at Hearst Park. Let me zoom in here. Hearst San Simeon State Park right there. There it is. We camped at the north area right near the feast station up here on the top of the hill. Then this little road goes down the hill and into this area right here. And this is a really neat area in here. If it's a little bit warmer weather and you want shade, this is the area to camp down here because you have lots of shade in here. The area up here is nice too, but not quite as much shade as down at the bottom of the hill. And lots of walking trails, biking trails. There's another campground over here. And I want to say this is a newer campground. It's kind of more spread out. There's not as much shade. It's called Washburn Campground, but it's nice also. And lots of little trails to walk around. There's a beach trail, and I want to say that the beach trail, there's one that goes under the bridge at the north part here, and there's another trail that goes under the bridge at the south part. So you kind of have to watch where you're going here to get to the bridge. Dogs are allowed on the beach at William Randolph Hearst Beach. A little funny story that we heard while we were at the Hearst Castle was this whole area right here was at one time owned by the Hearst family. William Randolph Hearst bought all this property here from who knows how farther up this way all the way down here. All this whole area of California was about 200,000 acres that was owned by William Randolph Hearst, and he bought probably around $1 or $2 an acre back in the 1800s, 1880s, whenever he bought the property. This was actually the Hearst family campground area where they would go camping. And they would come down here in the summertime and do camping trips. And so he bought this land for the family to do camping trips. And it was cheap land back then. Well, that's not the case now, but it's kind of an interesting story. This whole area was at once owned by the family. And the Hearst family has deeded some of this area down here to the state of California for public use. And Hearst San Simeon State Park is one of those such areas. So this was all at one time owned by the family, the Hearst family, but now is part of California State Parks. So if you want to make reservations at this campground, you're going to go to the website. You're going to go to, let me close that. You're going to go to the Hearst San Simeon State Park website and click on that, and it'll give you all the information on how many camp spots are available, the length of motorhomes and campers that are allowed. There's also a click on here. You can go to the reservation area and go online reservations right there. But all the regulations are right there. There's several other campgrounds that you can also reserve through there. So any California campground that's a state campground is going to be through the California Department of Parks and Recreation. And this is a really great website to get onto. If you're going to California, you might want to set up an account. Just go into the online reservation area and then click on login, or up here with account, and then create a new account right there. And then you can go in and create your own account and give them your name and information and stuff, and then you can easily get on there and reserve campgrounds at any time. The next day, we spent a whole day just playing around the campground. Then we went after we got there, and then the next day we took the day to go up to the castle. So when you get to the castle, you're going to go up Highway 1, turn off to the right on Hearst Castle Road, and go up to the visitor center. Huge parking lot, lots of room for anything you have, from a 40-foot bus to a 15-foot camper van. There's plenty of room to camp or to park there. You can't camp there, but you can park there. Then you go into the castle, and right now it's closed, I think because of COVID. But there's buses here that line up, and you go in and get your tickets to go to the castle, and then you take the bus, takes you up the road to the castle right here. There's the castle. And drops you off right in front of the Neptune Pool area. Here's where the buses drop you off. And that's where your visit starts. They take you on a tour around through the inside of the castle and let you see all the 100,000 rooms that are in there. I'm just kidding. But there's a lot of rooms. And there's a lot of history behind the Hearst Castle. It's really interesting to listen to all the dignitaries from the 1920s and 30s that came up here to visit. Even presidents that came here. It's just incredible. They've done some remodeling, so the Neptune Pool is all remodeled and looks incredible. Oh my goodness. I mean, wouldn't you like to have that pool in your backyard? Right, yeah. Anyway, so that's the Neptune Pool. And that's part of one of the features that, just a little side note, you can actually get a night, not right now, but I remember them saying that you can rent a night to go up there to the Neptune Pool, and I don't know how much it costs, but you can actually go swimming in the Neptune Pool, and I don't think it's cheap, but they do tours like that at night where they let people go up there and swim in the Neptune Pool, and I want to say it was a pretty good price to do that, but I'm sure there's somebody out there that probably would want to do that. Anyway, so just lots of things to see. There's a winery down here. And I want to say there were some other things down here too, like little restaurants and stuff to stop at. So anyway, I hope this helps you find a campground. Hope you enjoy your trip up there. It's a great place to go visit. The next day we left after 2 days at the park there at San Simeon. Then we went up north, Big Sur, and eventually Santa Cruz. And that'll be the next video. So have a great day, and hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, hit like, subscribe, and share. Thanks.